Here with T.J. Scott, and he was just reminding me that he was has been the president for many years of the Central Texas Republican Assembly, and you call yourself the Republican arm of the Republican Party. Is that your motto?
The Republican wing of the Republican Party is the motto of the Republican Assembly, and there's the National Federation of Republican Assemblies, there's the Texas Republican Assembly, and then I was the president of the Central Texas Republican Assembly for 8 years.
For 8 years, holy mackerel, good for you. Thank you very much, we appreciate it. Did they get you that spiffy uniform?
No.
But it's a 3D uniform.
It is.
It's a 3D. I have 3D clothes too. I get it. So why did you come to the convention? Why are you here? Why are you here?
I drove down this morning for one reason, and that was to meet with the Platform and Resolutions Committee because I have a resolution I want to get passed, and it has nothing to do with the platform. It's a resolution, and basically that's why I came down.
Okay.
Was to get a resolution. Hopefully they will put it out on the floor, and we'll get an up or down vote from the people.
From the delegates.
From the delegates at the convention, virtual or however we're doing this.
What it's going to be, I think we're using carrier pigeons. That's the latest I've heard.
I think the carrier. I think they bumped the carrier pigeon for Pony Express, but don't.
All right.
But don't quote me on that because
Okay.
that's been changing every half hour for the last 4 days.
I know we're still struggling. We may not know some of the answers still. We're halfway through. So tell me about your resolution.
Okay, like I think a lot of people are really upset with the governor of Texas, who has, in my opinion, been overstepping his authority as a governor. Okay, and my resolution, and I have a number of whereases. The first whereas is whereas the U.S. Constitution. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution says Congress shall make no laws represent an establishment of religion or prohibiting free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the freedom of press or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress and grievances. And whereas the governor of Texas has infringed on our First Amendment by prohibiting the free exercise of religion and denied our rights to peacefully assemble, and is by issuing executive orders which suppress and prohibit citizens from exercising those rights. And we are using this resolution to petition the government and redress of these problems. Then I go on to quote the Texas Constitution, where it says we're going to have three parts of the government: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial, and where it says no person or collection of persons being of one of these departments shall exercise any power properly attached to the other.
That's right.
And I go on and say that I believe the Governor Abbott is doing that, whereas the governor of Texas has overreached his powers by passing orders that, according to him, take effect as laws, recognizing that is the responsibility of the legislative branch and not the executive branch. Then I state the Texas Constitution on convening special sessions. We all know the governor has the power to convene the special session, and I point out where he gets that power. But he's the only one that can call a special session. Then I go on to show that in the government code also that the legislature itself could call itself into order, but only to impeach.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't.
That's in. Let me pause you there, because I heard that for the first time. So that is in Texas Code or Constitution.
Whereas the Texas Government Code 418.014 titled State of Disaster paragraph. Nope, that's not the one you're asking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the Texas Constitution has no mechanism for the state legislature to call themselves into special session, but the Texas Government Code, section 665.004, titled Convening House for Impeachment Purposes when the House is not in session. When the House is not in session, it may be convened to conduct an impeachment proceedings. Number one, by the proclamation of the governor, and we know we're not going to get that.
Happen, right.
Number two, by the proclamation of the Speaker of the House, if the Speaker is petitioned in writing by 50 or more members of the House. And number three, by proclamation in writing signed by a majority of the members of the House.
Okay.
So whereas the governor will not call a special session so that we, the people, can be represented by the lawful branch in making our laws, and the only thing for us to do is to impeach the government. This would be our last resort. And then I go on with the resolves. Be it resolved that the Republican Party of Texas calls upon the governor of Texas to immediately call into special session the Texas legislature to rescind all executive orders concerning the COVID virus, and that the Texas legislature debate and decide what is best for Texas and Texans.
Right.
Be it further resolved, if the governor of Texas refuses to call a special session, again, if the governor refuses to call a special session, then that the Republican Party of Texas calls upon the Speaker of the House to implement Texas Government Code section 665.004, paragraph A, subparagraph 2, to begin immediate impeachment procedures against the Texas governor. Be it further resolved that if the Speaker of the House will not implement Texas Code 665.004, paragraph A, subsection 2, that every Texas representative implement Texas Government Code, paragraph blah, 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 subparagraph 3. Be it further resolved, this will be distributed to everybody and their brother.
All right.
So that's basically what my resolution is. It is not my goal to impeach Governor Abbott. That's no way, shape, or form. My goal is to get Governor Abbott to stop acting like a king and a dictator and decreeing laws, because the legislature is who is supposed to be making laws, and the governor is supposed to be implementing them. What he did on March 13th when this started, I have no qualms at all, because in the beginning, he had no clue what he was doing. And
none of us did.
None of us did. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, nobody had any clue what this COVID-19 virus was, and he did what he did. No qualms with that. And I didn't read the whole thing, but in here, he can extend it 30. He can extend his executive order 30 days.
Yes. Over and over and over.
Over and over and over and over. It's my interpretation that that's not the spirit of the law.
Right.
Okay. So I think the first time he extended it, at that point in time, he should have then called a special session. I have no qualms about him doing what he did for the first 30 days and even extending it, but when he extended it, he should have called for a special session and let our legislators do their jobs.
Appreciate that.
That's my stance.
Yeah, we have had, I've had this same conversation over the last month with numerous people, and to every single person that I've spoke with said, when the governor first took that emergency act, we all said, go for it.
Go for it.
Again,
Thank you,
I mean, exactly. We're thinking 2 million people are going to be dead and rotting in the streets.
Right.
And we all agree that, and I think the general census I've talking with everybody is exactly what you said. This is something I'm getting from the grassroots across the state. So you're not a nutcase. I'm not a nutcase. This same opinion is being we're seeing it and hearing it everywhere. And so I really appreciate you coming up to the semi sort of convention that we're having and getting this out. Have you gotten any have you been able to present this in front? Okay, so you're waiting now?
I'm waiting right now.
All right.
Now they did, again, this is a resolution. This isn't part of the platform.
Right.
But they did just put a plank in the platform that calls for them to relook at executive powers by the governor.
Right.
So, and that passed unanimously, so that bodes well for my resolution, I think.
Good deal. TJ, thank you so much for coming up here.
You're welcome.
Now we have to go wash our hands.
Oh, well.
There you go.
Do you have COVID?
No, sir. Well,
I don't have
know.
COVID.
You don't have it? All right.
I've taken my temperature twice a day since the beginning of the year. Take my blood pressure twice a day. I even went out and bought one of those things you put on your finger to find out what your oxygen level is.
Yeah.
I've only done that for the last 3 months.
Okay.
Okay. I've never had a temperature. My oxygen's always been good, and my blood pressure is fine according to my doctor.
There you go.
So
all right.
I don't have it unless I've gotten it this morning.
There you go. All right, TJ. Thank you
you
very much. Appreciate it.
I left it there for him.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Tom,